Hello, welcome everybody, welcome. Hello, welcome. I'm Dan, your friendly fishmonger from dansfish.com, and I'm glad to be here with you on another Wednesday. We do this every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. That's 9 Eastern Standard Time for those of you that don't know where the mountains are. And I'm glad to be back. I had to skip last week, because, hang on, I'm adjusting my mic. It seems a little hot on my end. How's the sound, folks? Hopefully it's okay. Anyway, last week I had to head out of state, head down to Denver, go to the airport there and get another import. We expected it Thursday, but then they changed it, so it came Wednesday instead. It's a little loud. Okay, I thought so. How's that, folks? Is the audio better there? Hopefully that's okay. If it's loud, folks can turn it down, but if I have it up too high, then it gains on you and it starts sounding kind of poppy and bad. That's what I'm trying to avoid. Hopefully that's better. Thanks for letting me know, Kaler's Aquatics. Anyway, had an adventure, went down to Denver, drove through a blizzard. I don't know how much snow exactly Denver got Wednesday of last week, but I think it had to be like 8 inches minimum. I don't think that's an exaggeration. There was a ton of snow dumped, which made the trip pretty darn fun. If Priscilla's in here, or Mile High Plecos, they'll be able to tell us for sure. But from what I was seeing, it looked like at least 8 inches, maybe 10 inches, something like that, all within a few hours. It was it was an interesting drive. But we made it, we got back, so here we are. We're going to start with our shipping report, which is something we do every week to tell you how stuff went. 2 weeks ago when I talked to you, there was there was a couple of rainbow fish that had arrived DOA, and a couple that were struggling. So I wanted to take a minute and update you on that. That was a large box I sent in. That box didn't do well. 6 of those fish didn't make it, either arrived DOA or passed away later due to, due to complications from shipping. They just got really cold. And even though I packed for the long haul, I'm not sure what happened to that box. I don't know if it was left out on a tarmac overnight. It was delayed or what, but trying to find something here, because that was a bummer. It's never good when that happens, but I want to see this customer has purchased from me many times, so I want to see what the ratio is just for this customer, as far as the success rate, to give folks an idea. If I can find it. Hang on, I'm looking here. This might take too long, I might not. There it is. Okay, got to find the username. So now I can look here and see how many orders they've done. I think they've probably ordered, I don't know, 100 fish, maybe more than that. And this is the first time, I think, that we've had a problem. So, let's see here. 1, 2, that's one order. It's going to take too long to look it up, so I'll spare you the boring part. But I want to apologize to that customer. Sorry that happened. Sorry that a couple more passed away from complications, a couple days later, but I'm not sure why that went so rough, so apologize to them. The good news is, though, that I have sent this person many orders, and I think this is the first time there's been a problem like this. So the success rate's still good, even though occasionally something like this happens. Apart from that, the only other thing is this week, I sent a bunch of orders out Monday, and I got a notice yesterday from a customer that said that I sent them a Sultan Pleco, and they said that it arrived DOA. So I responded apologetically and said, please send me a picture so I can give you a refund or send you a replacement. And I never heard back. So hopefully I will hear back and I can take care of them. And I'm not accusing this person of anything because I don't know them, but in the Pleco world, you do have to be careful. It's fairly common in the Pleco world for people to try to scam you. So I don't know if it actually passed away yet or not, because I haven't got confirmation of that. So I'm gonna just guess that it did until I don't get a picture in a few days. We'll see. Anyway, that's the report. Not as good as usual. 7 fish total that were DOA or passed away shortly after delivery in the last 2 weeks. So that's really, really bad. The good news is that's the first time we've had a problem like this year, and we've sent out I don't know how many thousands of fish. I don't know what the number is, but lots. So it doesn't happen often, but every now and then the stars don't align correctly and the fish have a problem. So that's the shipment report. Hopefully next week I'll have a better one, and we can progress from here. The good news is the crazy weather is abating here. I think things are going to be, we might get a couple more cold snaps, but in general I think that the brunt of the cold weather is behind us. So things should go pretty smoothly from here on out. Not that they don't usually, they do, but it's nice when you don't have to worry so much about the cold. Am I putting in enough heat packs? Am I putting in too few? Are they getting too hot in there? Too cold? All that stuff. So for the year, we're still in pretty good shape. I think that puts us something at like 8 fish lost. Something like that. Less than 10, I believe, for the entire year so far, which percentage-wise is really good. Although for anyone that experiences that, it's still a horrible customer experience, and I apologize for it. The good news is, moving on to something more fun, is that we did get the import, we did get it landed, we got some awesome stuff in. I'm going to tell you about that in just a moment, but before we do that, I'm going to tell you about our giveaway. So Denis Ramirez is providing our giveaway tonight. It's some ram's horn snails. So most of us are familiar with ram's horn snails. Great little snail, getting nooks and crannies, eat algae. They're great as part of an aquarium that's been kept as an ecosystem. In algae covered tanks, they're wonderful because they'll help control that. And I don't know, I like them. I have them in most of my tanks, at least a few. And puffers and loaches absolutely love munching on them. So there's lots of uses for them. There are people that kind of hate snails, and I see those posts all the time and get those emails about, what's this? And it's a ram's horn snail, and they're like, ah! But I don't. I think that they're wonderful. The only snail that I'm aware of that I would not want to get into my aquariums is the Malaysian trumpet snail, MTS, just because they're so hard to eradicate. And I have seen them absolutely take over an aquarium. So besides that one species, there's not a snail that I know of that I don't like. I even like the little bladder snails and what we call pest snails and pond snails and stuff. I think they're all awesome. So the giveaway is for some ram's horn snails provided by Denis Ramirez. And if you'd like to enter that, it's really simple. Just enter #snails in the chat. And I think Denis is giving away 3 groups of these. So you'll have 3 chances to win. We'll draw the first one here very shortly to give the early birds a bit of a leg up and a reward for being here early. Get their chances of winning will be a little higher. Excuse me, got a tickle in my throat. Pardon me. Okay, so, the last thing. Look what I got. I got the calendar from Punchy Paints. It's, where's the camera? It's pretty awesome. I'm just going to skip through it. This is like quintessential Wyoming art right here. This is what you would see if you went to an art gallery. Man, my voice is doing it again. It was fine all day. Then I'd go to Livestream. Art just like this. There's some really cool stuff. So, if you want to get some cool art, check out Punchy Paints. And Punchy Paints Livestream will be going after me, as far as I saw earlier today, at about half an hour after I end, about 9 p.m. Mountain Time. If you want to know more about her art, and she often will sketch a thing right there and do little giveaways and stuff. It's a cool channel, cool live stream. Killers Aquatics, thanks for the simple hashtag on behalf of Candy. You're welcome. Candy has trained me well. I keep them simple now. I used to try to be creative with the hashtags, but they got complicated and it created a big problem for the mods. So Candy has finally got me trained. All right, let's go over the import list. I know that's what a lot of people want to see. Now, before I show it to you, not everything on the list arrived. I already deleted several things from the list that I know did not arrive, but I haven't yet gone through some of the other species. But here's most of what I ordered that I haven't deleted yet as a no-show. Just going to give you a sec to take a look at it. I did get more of the Avatar blue angelfish that everybody wanted. I did get more of the golden torpedo barbs that everyone wanted. Oh, these did not arrive. Sorry. Those dorsichlids did not arrive. The longfin cories I got, the Paleotis longfin, don't really have long fins. They're a little longer, but they aren't anything impressive. So I'll probably list them as normal fins. The Equus did not come. A few of the other species did not come. I did get some really cool gobies. These banded Morguna look amazing. The Empire Gudgeons came in looking good. I'm still sorting through these though. I haven't yet labeled every tank. I've just been working on making sure everyone gets acclimated and starts feeding and gets healthy, but I haven't gone through and labeled all the tanks. So I'm not sure if all these gobies arrived yet. I'd have to go out and look individually at the tanks and everything and get them labeled. So here's what I ordered goby wise. Not quite sure what came. Only 2 Anies gobies, unfortunately. I did get some. Are they on here? Here they are. Some Rudolarius did come in. The licorice gouramis are looking fantastic. The wild rice fish, the Paluticola and Matanensis, did come in, but they're in rough shape. So I'm doing my best to get them fat and happy. It's probably going to be a while, though, before I can list them for sale, unfortunately. The plecos came in looking great. The Congo spotted puffers, the Shodeni puffers, came in looking wonderful. I'm very excited about these. We did get a couple of pseudomugils that I've never seen doing well in person before. This one from Amika, and we did get this one, Novagenie. So I'm really excited about them, and they are doing pretty well. So I'm very hopeful that they'll be ready to go pretty soon. I finally was able to get some males because I had about 20 females of the Chilothrina blairii. So I was able to get 10 males, so I'll be able to sell those as trios. The rest of these, a lot of them came in, but I haven't sorted through all the rainbows yet to identify exactly what came in and what didn't. So here's the list of what was ordered on rainbows, but again, I'm going to have to go through. A couple of them might not have come. I really wanted, like, O'Neilli and Van Hurni and things like that, just some species that you never find. So I think the O'Neilli came in. I can't remember. I don't think that the Van Hurni came in. And let's see here. Oh, these are awesome. These blue diamond tetras. This is an African tetra, one of the Congo tetra species, if you will. Hard to find, and they came in looking really good. So there's a look at the list. It will be another week and a half before, well, hang on, another about week and a half. So I will list these for sale probably on the 12th of this month. The 12th or the 13th is when I'll list this most recent import for sale. And I'll only list the stuff that's doing well. Some of these things might take, a month or two before they're acclimated and ready to go. So some of them are rough, like those wild rice fish. Most everything else, though, looks pretty good. So I'm hopeful that it'll be ready to go next weekend. So that's how that is looking. And let's see here. There was something else I wanted to mention, but I forgot what it was. So with that, I think that's everything that's going on here. Before I get into the questions and comments, you know, just what else has been going on. We have a potential employee coming out next weekend, I believe on the 13th, and staying for a week. We're going to work together, make sure we like each other, and that everything that we want to basically get married almost. I mean, it's not that, but when you're getting the founding team of a new company up and running, you're going to be spending a lot of time together. So we want to make sure that we play well in the sandbox. And I think it's going to go well, though. I'm really excited about this person. They have a great skill set, and we've talked to them a few times, and I think they're going to be a great person to work with. So, you know, if I didn't, I wouldn't be providing a trip for them to come out and all that. But I'm excited about that, to see how that goes. So we might have that hire taken care of pretty soon. We are still looking for someone to help with marketing. So if you know about marketing and like to create content and know how to place that content so it's effective, that's the other kind of person we're still looking for, that person. So what else? Oh, I spent a lot of the day with the accountant trying to finalize things so that the investors can get all their K1s and other, you know, tax information promptly here. So that should be coming pretty soon. Was it the bank, you know, a lot today too, figuring out finances, trying to make sure that we've got everything we need to get this up and running, and we're real close. We're pretty much there. And I think that's about it. So that's what's going on here at Dan's Fish. If you have questions or comments about the company or about keeping fish, breeding fish, raising fish, shipping fish, aquariums, any of that, I'm not really great with plants, but I can tell you about most freshwater fish. So let's get into that section and see what happens. It's always interesting to see how these things go down. All right, the first one I see is Alex Aquatic Animals. How much fertilizer should I use in a fully planted tank? Yeah, sorry, Alex. I know almost nothing about plants. But someone else here should be able to help you with Aquarium Co-op's easy fertilizer line, because I know a lot of people here use it. So if other folks could chime in and help Alex out, that would be great. Maria saying hello. Hello right back, Maria. Good to see you. I see that my mods are here working hard. Thanks, mods. Thanks, Punchy Paints and Kayla's Aquatics, for being here and doing this. If there's other mods, so far I haven't seen you yet. So if I missed you, I'm sorry. Peeps Lost Sheep. I specifically bought Malaysian Trumpet fish. Well, do they eat Malaysian Trumpet snails? Because then you'll be okay. Gnarly fish tanks. The mouth breeding severums are doing well. Do they change colors? One will put on a set of stripes and then they look like a totally different fish. Shy by nature. Yeah, they do change colors like a lot of cichlids based on mood, and as they grow and mature, they're gonna, you know, grow into their adult coloration. They're what I would call preteens right now. If they were humans, they'd be, I don't know, maybe 11 years old, 12 years old, something like that. They still have quite a bit of growing to do. Are they shy? Not once they settle in. They'll be shy for the first week or two, but once they settle in, and I don't know your tank setup, but what I noticed in my tank setup was they were probably shy for about a week. And then they learned that me lifting the lid meant food, and they didn't have to run away and be scared when I came by. And they were out and about and front and center, kind of really like pets is kind of how they are. So I think that they'll get very personable and be out and about for you a lot. Just give them a little time to settle in. And I'm glad you got them, and glad they're doing well for you. I think they're a really cool species. The only severum I know of that mouth broods. Like, that's pretty cool. That's unique for severums. Mikey M, happy Wednesday. Plus, everyone, what is the pink and yellow fish behind you? I did get more, so we do have more of the gold denison barbs that everyone asks about. Those bright kind of orange and yellow fish, or maybe it looks pink depending on the screen you're looking at. So, and they're doing great, so I should be able to list those hopefully next weekend, next Friday or Saturday. Oh, Skipper's Aquariums is here. Thanks, Skipper. Sorry I missed you earlier. Good to see you. Thanks for what you do. Let's go ahead and do the first giveaway. So this is for the first group of snails given away by Denis Ramirez, and there are only 62 entered, so there's a very good chance that you early birds might win. And here, the winner is Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing, you have won a group of ram's horn snails from Denis Ramirez. Congratulations. I'm just going to write this down. Well, let's wait till you respond. If you would respond, let us know that you're here. You have about 1.5 minutes to do that. And then we will get you hooked up with Denis so you guys can figure out when you want those snails shipped to you. All right, while we're waiting for Swamp Thing to reply... Orange cones. I may do a Farrell Vitata giveaway in a few months. Yeah. So orange cones has some Farrellas that spawned, and they're grown up there. In a few weeks, they've already grown to what, 1 inch? I think you said. That's pretty cool. They must grow fast because they aren't that old. So yeah, a couple more months. Let's do that. That sounds fun. Swamp Thing is not. Swamp Thing, you here? Stepped away for a cup of coffee or something. Nah, one do. I wish on Get Gills we could sort by popular or best-selling. We'll get there. We have like, I think it's, oh, there's Swamp Thing. Hey, Swamp Thing, you won the snails. You won the ram's horn snails. So if you would send me an email, dan@dansfish.com, let me know, hey, this is Swamp Thing. I won those snails. Then I will get you in touch with Denis. Hang on, I'm writing this down so I don't forget. I'll get you in touch with Denis so you guys can figure out when you want them shipped. So congratulations. You got yourself some ram's horn snail goodness. Okay, so yeah, not one do. There's like 9 pages of stuff. I don't think that's an exaggeration. That changes in things we want to bring to Get Gills. So we are doing it. No one's really getting paid to work on Get Gills. It's kind of a self-sustaining thing. So it's something that we do as we find spare time, or when it's just like, hey, we really got to fix something. Get in there and do it. But we are making more improvements and focused on it a little bit more. But it's a labor of love. So we get to it as we can, and that would be cool. A popular or best-selling list, yes. But just to be honest and upfront, I don't think it's going to happen real soon. There's a long list of stuff to get to, and we have to prioritize all of it. So, but I appreciate the feedback. And if anyone else has thoughts or feedback about Get Gills and what they would like to see, that's gold to us. Anytime anyone lets us know what they want. So if you would let me know, or even better here, or even better if you would email me, dan@dansfish.com, so it gets in my workflow, that would be cool. But let me make a note here. Get Gills, sort by most popular. Or best selling. It's a good idea. I don't know if it's on the 9-page list, but I'll check. If it's not, we'll put it there. Peeps Lost Sheep, do you have any light recommendations for 75-gallon planted tank, low tech, and easy to keep plants? Yes, I do. This is what I use. These are 4-foot. Let's see here. You've got a 75-gallon. Yeah, this is what I have on my 75 gallons. They're 4-foot LED shop lights from Amazon. I believe the brand is Hycolity. Let me see if I can just get it for you here real quick. Amazon.com, Hycolity. 4-foot shop light. So here, see, I'm logged in, so I don't know if when I share this with you, if it will make sure this is the one I got. No, that one's a little different. Trying to find the one I got. Oh, it's hard to see. They're like white on white. I think this is the one. Let's see here. Nope, that's not it either. Anyway, here is what it was, but any 4-foot LED shop light, I think that they're 5,000 Kelvin is what I got, and I don't remember much more than that. They were like 40 bucks, 20 bucks. So that's what I use for low tech. Now, please keep in mind, I'm not much of a plant guy, but if you're looking low tech, super easy plants and cheap, that's what I use. Is it the best light? No. Is it one of the worst lights? Probably. The only advantage is they're cheap and they last a long time. I do have Beamsworks and what's the other one? I didn't get Nycrew, but got Beamsworks, and I tried another one of those, knockoffs, and they did great for a little while, but LEDs started burning out real quick. So going with a cheap imitation of a high quality light versus just a rock solid shop light, in my experience, I would go with the Aquaneat, Beamsworks and Aquaneat. Both of them, I think I've got about 20 of them in the fish room, and they have problems. So I would recommend, if you're going cheap, just go with something that is completely low tech, rock solid, and has no bells and whistles. Now, if you want a really nice planted tank, then, you've got your fluvals and things like that. But again, not a planted guy, so they look good, but I don't know much about plants. Mike Stamba, what is your treatment for columnaris? So for columnaris, this is a gram-negative bacteria, so you need to find an antibiotic that treats gram-negative bacteria. What I found works best for columnaris is, first off, a separate hospital tank. Don't treat them in the community tank, because the antibiotics that kill that will also kill your nitrophine bacteria and kind of destroy your entire ecosystem. Separate hospital tank with an air stone. If it's a fish that likes to hide or whatever, then put in some PVC pipe or put in some spawning mops or some Easter grass, something that's completely inert that they can hide in. You don't want anything that, like live plants or anything in there. And you don't need a filter because it's not going to be biologically active. There won't be a nitrophine system going on in this hospital tank. So hospital tank, clean water that's been gassed off, so been bubbling for several hours. And then I put in 5 grams of salt per liter of water, and I treat with kanamycin and nitrofurazone. That's what I found works best for columnaris and Aeromonas, those really common gram-negative bacterial infections. So that's how I do it. I do it for a week to 10 days. If you're using antibiotics, this is really important. This is something that really frustrates me about advice that's often given in the hobby. If you're giving antibiotics, make sure you do the full treatment. We don't want to create super germs. We don't want to misuse them. There are lots of folks that say it's kind of got out. There's some prominent people that say, no, just dose them once and let them sit in it. But that's not the proper way to use antibiotics. We don't want to use the antibiotics improperly, because we'll create problems, we'll create resistance in the bacteria we're trying to combat. And when you use the antibiotics improperly, you open yourself up to regulations. So if we want continued access to fish antibiotics, we better use them responsibly, or we'll go the way of Canada. So that's my kind of spiel on that. So do the full treatment, salt in the water. Don't feed at all. You don't want any biological waste in there. Follow the instructions with the water changes and the redosing of those antibiotics. Keep the salt content up there. Use water that's fresh and clean, meaning not from the tank itself, but that has been stabilized and gassed off. And that's my best for that. Plenty of inert hiding places if they like to hide. You don't want to take a fish that's sick and put it in a place where it's going to be even more stressed, right? Just a completely bare hospital tank will stress out lots of kinds of fish. So that's my thoughts of that. Kaiser Aquatic says, please preference questions to Dan with an @DansFish so it highlights for him. Yes, that would be very great. Very much appreciated. We'd be grateful for that. Thank you, Kaiser Aquatics, for reminding folks. So for those that don't know, if you're new, I look for these orange rectangles. That's what I respond to. And those orange rectangles appear if you type the @ symbol and then Dan's Fish, and it pops up and you select it. That's how that highlights for me. That's the questions and comments that I look for and respond to. So if I'm not responding, either I accidentally missed it, not on purpose, or it didn't highlight for me. Max, hi Dan, with the licorice gouramis, will they eat flakes and prepared foods? I read that they're finicky eaters. Yeah, you read all kinds of things. They're already eating the extreme nano pellets. I haven't tried, did I try them with flakes? I think I did. I think I gave them some krill flakes yesterday. And they nibbled. I don't think they ate them really vigorously, but give them a few more. By the time I sell them to you, by the time next weekend comes around, not this weekend, but the 13th or so, I think they'll probably be eating flakes. But right now they are definitely eating the extreme nano pellets. I'm also giving them, you know, baby brine shrimp and stuff like that. But Jackson Tax, do you know how long greenfin dragons, how long do with heavy fine, okay, do you know how long greenfin dragons do with a heavy fine sand substrate? So I can't tell if this question is asking the size, how long they get, or how they do on substrate, or both. So Jackson Tax, I know autocorrect gets in the way a lot. So with fine substrate, yeah, all my plecos are kept on a fine sand substrate. In fact, it's something that helps, I think, with the success of them. Now, I don't have a ton of, I'm not a pleco geek, you know, one of these people that knows all the different kinds and where they come from and the sub-varieties and everything like that. I'm not a true pleco geek, but I have several plecos. I've started keeping more plecos and kind of learning about them more for the last 9 months or so. So I'm not really a true expert. But what I have found is when I keep them on substrate, they tend to do better than when I don't. I think that they just are able to kind of, when I have a piece of wood there, they're kind of able to kind of burrow in there and wedge in and feel real secure and kind of graze on the sand a little bit if they get hungry. So I like them on a fine sand substrate, personally. That's what I use. Now, as far as size, standard bushy nose size, just take into account that the fins will get longer, but body size about the same as a bushy nose. Brian Klimaszewski, is it possible to post an update list on the community page after you figure out what all came in? Or yeah, so I think next week's live stream, I'll have everything sorted out so I can talk in detail about it next live stream. It takes me a while, so some of those gobies, they're hard to identify. So I want to make sure that, first, a few of them didn't come in, so I have to go figure out which ones those are. And then the ones that did come in, I have to do my best to try to identify them correctly. I invariably screw them up, though. There'll be one that I misidentify, just because they're so hard. So often I just have to go off what the exporter says. And then a true goby geek will come by, look at a listing, and every now and then they'll tell me, hey, actually these are those, and I can get a little more information and massage the identification a little bit. But yeah, it takes a while to identify some of the stuff, but I'm working on it. The first week or so, though, I really just focus on, it's all I can do just to make sure they start eating and they're settling in and they're getting healthy and all that. So once that kind of stops being such a high priority, once they start settling in after the first week or so, then that work eases up a bit and I can start focusing more on, okay, what actually came in? I mean, I have all the shipping bags with the codes and everything there. I know what it is. I just haven't gone through the process yet. So next Wednesday, I should be pretty far along with that. Danikin, hey Danikin, I was just about to read Danikin Aquatics comment and then it jumped on me. So let me scroll back up and find that. There it is. Danny and Ken, hope you guys are doing well. What's up, brother? Oh, doing great. Hope you're doing well as well. Hope you're doing well as well. Hope you're doing well too. Also, Orange goes, the Farrell pair spawned on the 13th and the 27th of February. The first spawn is 1.25 inches already. Jeez, what's that? That's... How many weeks is that? That's like 2 weeks, right? 13th. Okay, 1, 2, almost 3 weeks. 2.5, 3 weeks. And they're already an inch and a quarter. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's one of the fastest growing fish there is, I bet. B-Start, get Gil's address verifying, got orders in the past with no lane or street, and there was a lane or street chosen. Lucky I chose the right one. Okay, get Gil's address verifying. So B-Start, are you saying that you would like verifying, verification on orders? Not quite sure what you're asking for. At checkout, there is a place for people to verify their address before they send it in, if that's what you're asking. It's just verifying. So pass with no lane or street, and there was a lane or street. Yeah, so, I mean, if the person puts in their address and does not include lane or street, there's no way for the seller to know. And the buyer should, on the checkout page, they see the address it's going to. So that's the point where it should get verified. Not quite sure I understand exactly what you're referring to there, but hopefully I got it. Peeps Lost Sheep, thanks for the recommendation. Hey, you're welcome, and hope it works out for you. So, yeah, hopefully it works out. Swamp Thing, got a pair of Chilothrina alani in their own tank producing fry and all living together. They're good parents. The new fry are eating tiny copepods. How can I enhance the copepod culture in the tank? I don't know how much you can enhance it in the tank itself, just because the population is going to be kept under control, right, by the fish. So my best suggestion, I guess, would be food and hiding places if you're trying to keep the copepods in the tank with the parents and the babies. So something like, you know, Java moss that just fills half the aquarium where the copepods can graze and hide and stuff. Something like that. Maybe a Matala mat that you cut to size, and you put a couple of those in there so that there's places for the copepods to hide and graze and things like that. That's my best idea in an aquarium with the parents, without building an elaborate structure where you silicone in like a piece of glass and keep it dark on one side and keep the copepods there with a little section that you can remove a few hours a day so they swim over, and then, something crazy like that. But just in the tank with the rainbow fish, give them lots of places to hide and make sure they have food, and that's the best you can do. I would think a separate tank for culturing, and then taking them from there and putting them in the Chilothrina alani tank might be a more productive way to approach that, though. And for that, I'd recommend you to Mike Helwig's book, Culturing Live Foods, or Live Aquarium Foods, Culturing, something like that. It's a great book. Matt Lawrence, do you ever see any, I don't even know how to say this, Brachyhamdia catfish species on your import lists? They're a nice pimeloid that mimics Coriodoris. Oh, I do know the one you're talking about, and I have not seen them. I do know what you're talking about. For those that don't, this is cool. Yeah, there's these small little, like, I don't know, Pictus cat type things, and some of them are Cory mimics. So like, here we go. So look at that. Looks a lot like a Cory, right? This one. That doesn't look like a Pygmy Cory. Those are awesome. This one, here's a skunk Cory, right? You can totally see what they're doing, how they mimic. I wonder though. Oh, wait, was I showing that? Was I on the wrong screen this whole time? Anyway, here they are, if I was. I wonder what advantage that gives them in nature, though. Do they not have their own spines? Are they trying to be like, I'm a Cory, I'm spiny? I mean, I would think that they would have their own spines. So I'm curious why that's an advantage to them to mimic a Cory. It's not like a Cory is... I mean, they've got a little bit of toxin in them by their spines, but they're not nearly as venomous as a lot of other catfish and things like that. So I don't know. Just curious why that works for them. So Matt, if I ever do see something like that, I'll bring it in, but that's not something that I've seen or really looked for. Once I start bringing in specifically from South America, I bet I would have better luck. But right now, just going through the suppliers I have kind of out of Indonesia and Africa and stuff like that, I haven't really lately, for the last few years anyway, focused on South America. That is one of the plans, though. I know I always say when the warehouse is done, but it's true. When the warehouse is done, I do have plans to, go down, look at South America and see what we can make happen. Lunatic Fringe! It's not just Canada that has regulations. Oh, I know, Chewy. I was just picking on ya. Asia, the UK, Australia, and many other countries. Yes, absolutely. Sharon Miller, I noticed that you have some blue Acaras in the tank behind you. Are the Acaras peaceful enough to go in a community tank? Yeah. I mean, as per the display behind me, yeah, absolutely. The only problem you might have with Acaras is if they're kept with really small fish, they'll snack on them. But any fish will snack on other fish that easily fit in their mouths, right? So as long as you're not keeping them with really small community fish, if that's the question. But they're one of the most peaceful cichlids there are. And if the tank's big enough, they'll even spawn in there and not really bother the other fish. If it's a real small tank and a pair of Acaras spawns, you might have a problem. Because they will defend the spawning territory, and if the tank's not big enough, you could have an issue. But if you have, I don't know, a 4-foot tank or more, I think they'll be fine because the area they defend is not very big. But if they spawn in a 30-gallon, you might have a problem. Oh, wait, it jumped. Sorry, Jackson Tax, I was just about to respond to you. I just saw HC Aqua. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well, Jesse. Jackson Tex. Okay, my plecos are longfin green dragon. Size was not an issue. Not sure on the substrate. Okay, cool. I think I talked enough about substrate and plecos. I like fine sand with plecos. Alicia AS, what is the scientific name of the Congo tetra that you brought in? Let's show you here. Smycalii? Actually, hang on. Let's just put it in here and show you. These guys. I'll put it in the comments too. There you go. So this is the fish. It's called the Blue Jewel or something like that. All right. So, thanks, Alician. Killers Aquatic, where is this shipment from? This one came out of Indonesia. Been in contact with... So here's what's going on with Nigeria. Normally I bring fish up through Texas, and that's the point of import. There still are no flights going from Nigeria to Texas that take cargo. There are flights going to Miami. So now I've shifted gears, and I'm looking... some places in Miami where I can have them shipped to and bring them in from there. Or since it's heating up, maybe if we just wait a few weeks, we could bring them right into Denver. But right now it's just too cold to bring them into Denver. So there are some fish that are being shipped from Nigeria, but not to the place where I need them to be. So I'm trying to make some adjustments on my end to try to get some of those red African tetras in for Bob. Raphael Swit, to follow up on Columnaris' question, do we need to dispose of hospital water after treatment in any special way? It depends. So activated carbon will remove most medications, so that would be a good thing to do. If you have a water change and let's say you're in the middle of treatments and you have to change some water before you put in the next dose, you could siphon it out into a bucket, do your 50% water change, put in some activated carbon, put an air stone in the bucket until the activated carbon has basically absorbed the medication, and then you should be good to go. But you can also, if you look it up, you can find how long these medications actually last before they break down. They don't last forever in the water column. That's one reason why we have to redose them. So you put them in the water and they immediately start decomposing, basically, breaking down. So you can also just wait long enough and check it out. I don't remember the half-lives right now from memory, but there is a time period where they basically decomposed enough that they're not a big problem anymore. That's a great question. Let's be responsible with our medications. Stefan Truth Seeker, is it difficult importing fish now? It's not as bad as it was about 10 months ago. About a year ago. But it's still... You can basically figure out how difficult it is by how many flights are going. So if you just look at your local airport, let's say, and they used to have, 50 flights a day. Now they might have 10. So the problem is most cargo, including live fish, is sent on passenger flights. So if you used to have 50 flights a day, now you only have 10. You've cut down. You've only got 20% of your previous capacity, but there's a whole bunch of demand. So there's lots of people that still want to ship cargo. There's just not as many flights. So you get this backlog. The other thing that happens is the price goes way up because there's a lot more demand for those flights. And so you get in these bidding wars. And so you put in your bid, and maybe you win and you can send your fish on that flight. Maybe someone else outbids you and they can send their fish. So it's a little different than it used to be, for sure, just because there's a lot less flights than there used to be. So it's better than it was, but there's definitely a backlog. It takes quite a bit longer and it's more expensive, and you never know for sure until it's sent that it's actually gonna come, that it's locked in. Sean, aka Ollie Fish Guy, or Ollie, I'm going with Ollie. Sean, aka Ollie Fish Guy. Hello from Olympia, Washington. Well, hello. Oh, S. Shrestha. Yes. Hope all is well. You kept me waiting last week, bud. I did? Oh, sorry. No streaming. I didn't know that. Your stream is. I look forward to every Wednesday. Great info. Thanks. Well, I'm sorry to let you down. If I ever don't do a stream, you can find that out by going, if you're like, where's Dan? If you go here to my channel and you click community, unless I got in a car accident and ended up in the hospital or something, I will always put a notification here, like this one, that it's canceled for that day. So I'm sorry to let you down. Never want to do that. But again, this was scheduled for Thursday. It ended up coming a day early, and so... Well, the truth is it got delayed and didn't arrive till Thursday morning anyway. Yeah. So I'll let you know there. Good news is I think this is in 2020, when I look at that, did I miss one in 2020? There might have been one that I missed. I almost never miss them. I am committed to this, and unless something happens that's out of my control, like a shipment that was scheduled to arrive Thursday, getting a notice, hey, that flight's coming in Wednesday, I've got to be there for those fish. So But I'm glad that you're back. Good to see you. J. Oliver's Guppies and Aquatics throwing down 5 smackers. Thanks for the $5. I appreciate it. Love the live streams. Hey, I'm glad you do. Honestly, the truth is, I feel a little, I don't know, I feel a little out of sorts today. Like, maybe it's because I missed last week. It's like the Emperor's New Groove. Dude, you threw off the groove. I just don't feel the groove today. So I'll probably be back fully next week. But there are times when it's like, man, I don't know what it is, but for some reason, it feels odd. But the good news is, those are the ones where sometimes it feels so like, I'm like, man, I don't know, that just felt like it went wrong. And then I'll go watch the live stream later just because I'm like, was that okay? Usually those end up being the best ones. So you worry for nothing. Wait, is HC Aqua going off about scuds? For real, they're little devils. They eat fish eggs and compete with shrimp for food. Let's see. What are we talking about here? Scuds are the devil. I knew it! Goal! I knew that's what HC Aqua was talking about. Some of us love scuds. Some of us hate them. HC Aqua's on Team Hate Scuds. Hey, there's a t-shirt idea. Team Hate Scuds. Just for you, Jesse. All right. Hang on, I'm scrolling here looking for... There it is. Lunatic Fringe! Those catfish, from what I have heard, is that they school with them for numbers. They don't have their own school, huh? And another hypothesis I have heard is that type of mimicry is to feast on the eggs of the cories. Oh, that makes total sense. That actually makes total sense. The feasting on the eggs. I mean, it could work to school with them for numbers, but and I don't know. I'm just like thinking, just postulating here that in that case, why not just create your own school of your own species? You know, why rely so heavily on another species? Why not just alter your behavior and create your own protective herd? But a feeding opportunity, that kind of makes sense, especially when you consider kind of how they're closely related to, say, Pictus cats and things like that. I could see them being sneaky and going in for an egg feast. And it could be something else, like there could be option 3 that you and I don't even know about that's the real one. Who knows? But I'm curious about it. Mega Mindy Lou, I bought some new fish, feeling guilty again. The Angelicus Bottia Loach. I love that loach. They're super cool. So far, kept my ram's horn snail population in check. I watched them eat snail eggs too. Really? They can like get through the gel mass of snail eggs? That's crazy. Well, good. I'm glad you got them. I love that fish. And don't feel guilty. If you have a good source for healthy fish that's not me, that is fine. That is fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. No, it really is fine. The Chubby Guppy, our favorite fish thespian. It's an odd mix, right? I have 2 main skill sets. Aquarium fish and the theater. It's like, it's a weird skill set. Thanks, Chubby Guppy, for the $4.99. Appreciate the super chats. Always appreciated, never required, but as you know, it does make my wife super happy. Na one do. Which is better for community tank, Black Rams or Acara? Generally, I would say Acara, just because Black Rams have some requirements temperature-wise that a lot of community fish are going to find a little stressful. Black Rams, I assume we're talking about Microgeophagus ramesii. Did I say that right? Ramirez? Ramesii, I think is it. The black form of the common blue German ram, if you will, right? They do well in the 80s, like mid 80s, upper 80s. 86 degrees, they're super happy. Most community fish are not going to like it that warm. The Acara can take your normal tropical fish temperatures, mid 70s to low 80s. In that range, there's a lot more variety you could put in a tank and so your options are just a lot broader for what you can mix with them. Now the difference is the Acara, if we're talking about the blue Acara, get a lot bigger. So that does mean that there are certain small fish you can't keep with them that you could keep with black rams. But in general, I would go with Acara just because of temperature requirements. Swamp Thing, your glasses look great on screen. Anti-glare spray is working well. Yep, here's my anti-glare spray. My shirt, rub. There you go. There's the anti-glare secret. I haven't got the anti-glare yet. I need to do it, but glad they're looking good. Not only can you see the screen, you can see another screen here, right? You get double screen. 3 screens. The one you're looking at on your monitor, this screen, and this screen. KP throwing down $5. Man! Hey, thanks for the super chats, everyone. They're flying today. I really appreciate it. It always amazes me when money falls from the sky. Thanks so much. Did KP have a question or comment? Sometimes it doesn't let me see. I don't think so. Nope, just throwing money at me. Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. Put it to good use. Jerry Serple Morris. Hey, good to see you, Jerry. Hope you're doing well. Do you think I can leave pygmy cories in my tank with rice fish, or will they eat all the rice fish eggs? Tank is 60 gallons, has around 15 pygmy cories. I think you could do that. I don't know which rice fish species you're... Yeah, I do. You're talking about Medaka, right? I think I sent you some Medaka a while ago. Then as long as... I think you would be okay. I really do, especially if you have some spawning mops or really densely planted areas. With spawning mops, they tend to be dense enough that when the rice fish eggs go in, a lot of them will be deep in the strands. So that'll be difficult for the pygmy cories to get to. If you're just using plants and no spawning mops, they might get to more of the eggs, but I bet several will escape. I bet it would work. You won't get tons of production, but if there's enough cover, yeah, I bet you would get. I mean, I've had rainbow fish eggs hatch and raise up with pygmy cories. I've had killifish eggs that hatched and raised up with pygmy cories. And once they're hatched, then there's kind of no danger from the pygmies. So I think that would work well. Another one coming in, Kelly Foreman. Thank you so much. And let's see, Kelly Foreman with $4.99. Always appreciated. Never required, but it does make Brenda happy when super chats happen. Thanks so much. I'm excited by the new order at Dance Fish. It's definitely time to set up a new tank. Oh, it's always time to set up a new tank. 3 times your current tanks equals world peace, as you know. But hey, yeah, I can't wait for you to set up a new tank either. And thanks, Kelly. I appreciate the super chat. HC Aqua, I need to fire USPS. Which service should I target next? First, yes. And I'm sorry for whatever has gone down to bring you to that conclusion. I know how frustrating that can be. I've had as good of luck with FedEx and UPS arriving on time. It's 6 one, half dozen the other. Locally, I like UPS better because I get great, like amazing customer service from my local UPS office. Not from corporate, but the folks at my local office know me and they take care of me. If something comes in and they think it's fish and it's after hours, they'll call me so it doesn't sit out all night or something like that. They really do take care of me. But that's my local office, so I don't know if your office will be the same. FedEx, my local office, is more difficult. Like, they won't even let me call them directly, so I have to go to corporate no matter what, and it's just, or drive up there, so it's a lot harder to deal with. The good thing about FedEx, on the other side, when I import stuff, is they're open a lot later at the airport, in Texas at least, and so I can, if I'm overnighting the fish to me, sometimes I can overnight them to me and they'll get here just as quick as if I go to pick them up, depending on flight schedules and things. It's easier to get them to FedEx and get them to me the next morning just because they stay open later. But that's the only advantage to FedEx that I know of. But as far as delivery on time and all that, and cost and everything, it's pretty much the same. What I would recommend is trying to play them off each other. So get an account with one, and after a while, usually a rep will call you from the other, or you can contact them, and you can say, well, right now it costs me this much to ship fish, so if you can beat that price, I'll move to you. And if they do, then you move to them, and then after a few months, you go back to the other company and say, hey, these guys are doing it for this much. If you can beat that, I'll go to you. And you kind of, it's the opposite of job hopping, right? Where you hop from one job to the other and go up the ladder in pay. This is like you're hopping down. You're saying you're trying to get a discount each time you hop back and forth. But that's my thoughts on it. Knight Rider. Oh, before I get to you, Knight Rider, it is 8 o'clock. So we're going to give away another group of Ram's Horn Snails. So let's go here. The first winner was Swamp Thing. The second winner is Dave O. Dave O. It's like O. Henry, but in reverse. Dave O. If you're here, if you would let us know, you've got about a minute and a half to respond. Let us know you're here. And then we'll get you in touch with Denis Ramirez, who is providing the giveaway this evening, so you can get your snails shipped to you. Is Denis here? I don't think I've seen Denis. All right, while we're waiting, let's go to another one here. That was Knight Rider. Could you rant a bit, you know I can, about planning when breeding and organizing for a fish room? Tips, trips, opinions. You use Excel to plan it all? No. Let me show you what I do. There we go. Before I show you what to do, sorry, that's twice I've interrupted the response to you. David O is here, right on. Here and happy. Yeah, there's no other way to be, not when you're talking fish. Dave O. Snails. All right, we've got one more batch to give away tonight, so if you want snails and you haven't won them yet, you've still got another chance. And Davo, if you would send me an email, dan@dansfish.com, let me know that you're Davo, because I'm sure your name will be different in the email. And I will get you in touch with Swamp Thing so you guys can arrange for the shipping. Thanks, or Swamp Thing, I'm sorry. Swamp Thing, I was just looking at Swamp Thing's name because he was on the list. With Denis Ramirez, so you guys can arrange the shipping. Sorry, Swamp Thing, if I just gave you a little heart attack. Okay, so let's see here. It is called Room Sketcher. Let me see if I can do this another way. This is probably worth taking just a minute to show you the way I figured out to do this. It works really well and is free. Okay, here it is. And let me see if I can find an active one. I think this will do it. Okay, it's opening. It's just going to take a second. Oh, wait. No, wrong one. Sorry. Okay. Is this it? Yes, here we go. Oh, they changed. Well, I used to use something called Room Sketcher, but apparently it's been bought by a company called Smart Draw. This must have just happened because I have been using this for a while, and I just checked in with them recently. So now I'm not sure. Huh? Let me check one more thing. Yeah, that's Room Sketcher. Let's see if Room Sketcher's still here. Room Sketcher. Okay, roomsketcher.com. Huh, interesting. Room Sketcher is still here. Okay, let's see if I can find one to show you. So this is Room Sketcher, roomsketcher.com. And what you can do is you can create different projects for free, and you can go in there and oh, hang on, let me switch screens because it's going to give me a little bit of grief here. Remind me later. Okay. Okay, let me find... Sorry guys, I promise this will be worth it. I hope this will be worth it. Okay, here we go. It's loading. It's taking a while. Okay, here we go. Finally. Okay, so this is how I plan out a fish room, or the warehouse even, until I got official drawings. This is how it started. So you go here, and you can draw your building, draw the outline of your building like you have here, and then you can put in little things. So this is a desk that I've enlarged to make work as a workstation. This is a rug that I've made 39 inches by 21 inches to approximate the size taken up by a 40-gallon breeder tank. So I just made a bunch of these, made a bunch of copies of them. And with this app you can play around and like make a bunch of duplicates and move them wherever you want. So you can test your space. So let's see if I can do a little example real quick. Let's get rid of that. Let's say here I want to put a work table. So I would go, let's see, I would search for table. We can do any table really, because it doesn't matter. Then we just need to change the size. How big do we want to make this work table? Let's say we want to make it 80 inches by, wait, that didn't work. 80 inches by, so we want to make it by 48 inches. I don't know, that's an odd size work table, but just for fun. So you can make this whatever size you want, and you can put it wherever you want in your building to see if that's where you want your work table or your aquarium or whatever. And that's how I use this, to kind of map out how I want things. So the example here, this was me playing. They've changed this a little bit, but it gives you the general idea. So we don't want furniture, we want walls. So you can create a wall. Let's see if you want to add on to the building. Okay, I want to add on to the building there. And I don't know, I'm screwing this up, but let's say that it was something like that for some reason. And now you want to, I don't know, you want to add a door or whatever. So you can mock it up and play around basically and make it so you can see what it would look like. So that's what I use, Room Sketcher. And I haven't, hang on, I'm trying to get out here without saving it. Don't save. Okay, and get out. And so I just play around with that until I get the configuration that I want and I see what makes the best use of space and all that. And then I go and I build it. So that's what works for me. When I'm planning, as far as breeding and stuff, one thing I would say about fish rooms, did I lose everyone there? That took a while. Not too many. We still have, oh, yeah, I did. We had 167, now we're at 146. Sorry. Night Rider, hopefully this is worth it for you. But as far as organizing, what I would do is I would leave about 25% of it free, like just open. Don't build there. Don't plan anything there. so that you can figure out as you're working in that room, oh, you know what, I need more workspace, or you know what, I have plenty of workspace, I need more small aquariums to set up breeding pairs, or I've got plenty of small aquariums and plenty of workspace, I need to set up I don't know, large tanks for rearing. I'm constantly running out of space to rear fish. So just leave a section of it undeveloped so that you can adjust as you work in that room and know your needs better. Or maybe it's just like, you know what, I need a work table. Like there's so many tanks in here, I never have room. Every time I try to feed, it's a pain because I have to use the tops of the tank. I have to use the tank lids as like shelf space and all that. So just give yourself some space. I think people usually stuff rooms so full of aquariums they forget about, well, what's going to make it pleasant to be in there and work in there. Another thing is, for the love of all that's good, leave yourself plenty of room between the top of one tank and the shelf of the next tank above it. You want plenty of room, 8 inches probably minimum. Lots of people make the mistake of cramming them in there as tight as they can, and then it's such a horrible experience working in it that they end up neglecting their tanks and burning out and not enjoying the hobby. So build it for your enjoyment, not for like, how can I get the most in there, would be my biggest advice. And as far as breeding goes, just remember you're going to need several large rearing tanks for each batch of fry to grow out. So a small tank for pairs to breed, somewhere to incubate and hatch the eggs, somewhere to raise just the tiny little fry. Small containers work well for that, small plastic containers. And then once they're a 1/4 inch or so, you've got to grow them out. And if you've got a few hundred fish, you're going to need quite a bit of space for all those babies. And by then the parents might have spawned again. And now you're like, oh, shoot. So for every pair of fish you have going, you might need 3 or 4 large rearing tanks if you're really trying to maximize. Now, if it's just like, nah, I just want to breed stuff for fun, then it doesn't matter as much. But those are my thoughts on that. Not one do. Can you keep black rams in gravel like sea chems fluorite? I've never used sea chems fluorite, but you can keep black rams in gravel. However, in nature, they are a sifter. They sift through sand and detritus and things. They pull up fine sand and they spit it out their gills. They like to suck it in and spit it out constantly. So I would recommend fine sand for black rams. Okay. It's already 8:12. I took way too long on trying to get Room Sketcher working. I'm sorry, guys. Jeez. Lost like 20, 30 people. Okay, let's look for the next one. Chat jumped on me, so hang on. Whew. Hang on, I'm going. Wow, I'm so far behind. Not that that's a surprise. Okay, I found it. I'm looking. There we go. I think I see one. Orange cones. You missed the day before Thanksgiving, but we... Oh, that's right. That's right. I did miss the day before Thanksgiving last year. I did not live stream that day. Mega Mindy Lou. LFS said these were tank raised. Have you heard of them breeding in captivity before? Farrellas, yes. Is that what we're talking about? No, that was orange cones. This is Mega Mindy Lou. Hang on, Mega Mindy Lou. What were we talking about? Oh, wait. You got in some Angelicus. So I think that they are probably being bred on fish farms, probably using hormones would be my guess. Yeah, I don't think they're all wild caught. But I don't think your average, like, hobbyist or without hormones, I doubt they're being bred in any consistency anyway on farms. Danny Weshi, I agree. I have 3 weird skill sets: animals, music, and theater. All right, Danny. Yeah, you and me, we'll take on the world. I just passed Kelly Foreman's super chat. If you're wondering how far behind I am, let me try to finish up here. Aqua, I'll test them both. Thanks for the input. Yeah, hopefully it was helpful. UPS versus FedEx, kind of the same in my book. Kaiser Aquatics, I wanted a tree of your recent blue, black, angels, but they sold out. Not the Pinoy, not the Avatar. My brain is skipping on what those were. Not the Pinoy and not the Avatar and blue. Bob, I'm sorry, my brain is not remembering what that was, but sorry I sold out of them. If you wanted them. Paul Soltero, volume shipping gets better pricing. Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's pretty high volume before you get any meaningful price break. Up until then, try to find some third-party app you can use for a discount that aggregates. Something like Shippo.com, although Shippo gives a discount, much better than what you would get just, standard retail rate, but still pretty expensive. But I limped along with Shippo for, I don't know, a year or so before my volume got high enough that I could get decent rates. Still got a little ways to go, but we have pretty good rates. John Cox, Davio answered here. All right. I see what you mean. Dave O answered for the yes, for the snail winnings. Xaviers Aquatic Snails only ships in the USA. That is correct. I don't have the paperwork or the bandwidth. Well, technically, I do have import-export permits, but it's not something I'm going to be doing anytime soon. Jerry Serple Morris, thanks, saves me having to fish out the pygmies. Hopefully, I could be totally wrong, but I think it'll work for you. Pygmy cories and rice fish should be fine. Deborah Sanders wants to be taken out of the competition. All right, Deborah, if you win, we'll just redraw. How's that? I don't know enough about Nightbot to know how to go in there and actually remove you, but we'll just redraw if you win. John Cox, I loved it and have saved the Room Sketch app. Awesome. Hope it's helpful to folks, especially since I took so much time on it that I lost half the stream. Dragon Lair, hey, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. I have a 3-shelf rolling cart from IKEA to hold nets and foods and catch boxes. Makes life easier in the fish room. Absolutely. A utility cart in making is awesome, and making your aisles wide enough that you can get the cart in and still walk by it to work in the fish room. That's something else to think about. I think like a 3-foot aisle is a minimum, pretty much. Especially if you have tanks kind of lower, you're gonna have to squat down and all that. You don't want your rear end smashing into another tank or something. So you need a little room. Toad Tamer. That's a great username. Toad Tamer. I have 8 Melanitania uchiensis in a 55-gallon with 7 Melanitania praecox. Is a 55-gallon big enough? I might try to upgrade to a 75, but can't find a good source on the uchiensis' size. Toad Tamer, I don't remember off the top of my head how big uchiensis get. Let me look here. If it's not on Angfa here, where I'm looking, this is the fish we're talking about. They're beautiful. I think I've still got a couple for sale if anyone is looking for this fish. Let's see if it says here. No. Wait. Maybe. Tells us the egg size. Tells us the larva size. Oh man, it doesn't tell us the fish size. So I'm not sure. Let's see, did I just miss it? I don't know. My guess is that they're probably going to get as big as your standard, Melanitania, 5 inches or so. But I really don't know. So, and chat jumped. So it was that with praecox. That might be big enough. That's 4 feet. And that's 15 fish in a 55-gallon. And the praecox aren't going to get too big. It depends on how you maintain that tank, but that might be okay, Toad Tamer, depending on how you maintain it. Dennis! Hey, Dennis! Good to see you. So far, of the 3 packs you wanted to give away, Swamp Thing has won 1, and Davo has won 1. We haven't drawn the 3rd winner for the snails yet, Dennis, but we will do that here shortly, and I'm so glad you could join us. Had to work a bit late. No worries. No worries. Anyway, Dennis throwing down $5 and providing the giveaway tonight. Thanks, Dennis, for doing that. Appreciate it. So, Dennis, the winners will email me, and then I'll include you in the response so you get their contact information so you know where to send the snails. I'll do that tomorrow or the next day. Tomorrow's pretty busy, so it might be the next day. Let's see here. So you've got a couple minutes. Ryan Hansen, I went to try and ship my first fish today, got to the local post office and was told I can't drop off there. Only one specific location across town. Such a runaround. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Well, hopefully they go well. Hopefully you got them dropped off anyway and that it all goes well for you. It's your first fish shipment. Well, that's exciting. I know that's nerve-wracking. Welcome to the wild world of shipping fish. And if you need any help, just send me an email, dan@dansfish.com. I'm always happy to help folks ship fish. It's something I want us to do better. Roadhouse Aquatics, what's the chances Pygmy sunfish will start eating flake? Not good in my experience, especially if they're wild caught. There's a lot of those finicky fish that if you spawn them and raise the babies, you can get them to eat flakes and pellets and stuff if you start feeding them pretty early on and they grow up with it. I personally have never got Pygmy sunfish. If I remember right, it's been a long time. That's probably another live stream where I was like, yeah, I got him to do it after 3 months of trying, but I don't remember. It's been a while since I've done this, but I don't think I ever got them to eat anything but frozen and live. Other folks here, though, if anyone here has got them to eat flakes and has any tips for Roundhouse Aquatics, about that, please do chime in so we can help Roundhouse out, because I was unsuccessful. Orange cones. When your spouse limits the number of tanks, I've heard it's only the footprint that counts. So can I stack them as high as I want and climb a ladder? Yeah, you can only have 20 tanks. Okay, all these 10 gallons are becoming 125 gallons then. Same number of tanks, just bigger. Swamp Thing, if you set up a Biotope tank, what would be your ideal ecosystem? Oh, man. Oh, there's so many. I think what would be really cool is like a native tank like that. Just, North America, USA type tank with some darters in it. Maybe some Mad Toms. Some kind of shiner. If I could balance it out so that they didn't outcompete the Mad Toms. And some kind of killifish. I think something like that would be really cool. And maybe if I could find a small species of stone lapper or something to take care of algae. Yeah, I think that's what I'd go with. I was thinking West Africa. That would be cool too. I was thinking Asia. That would be cool. New Guinea. South America. Like there's so I like them all. But I don't know. Just for something different, I think it'd be fun to do... some natives. I saw a video recently, I forget who did it, but it was a live stream, if I remember right, with someone. Was it Kaiser's Aquatics? I can't remember who did it, but with a guest who just has a whole bunch of tanks with native fish in them, and I was just like, oh man, that would be so cool. Bird Garden throwing more money at me, $5. Bird Garden, thank you so much for the super chat. Always appreciated, never required. Dan, you give me my fish fix while busy minting NTFs. Thanks. Hey, you're welcome. I'm glad to do it, and thanks for the $5. That's a beautiful bird. Is that a red-headed woodpecker? Peep Saw Sheep, top 3 favorite musical instruments. Oh, I'm going to keep it to, I'm going to keep it to fish. I try to keep the live stream focused on fish. Every now and then I stray, but I'm not going to do it purposely. Blue Ice Aquatics, what's the best snails for shrimp tanks? Anything but assassin snails, I would say. I mean, I like ram's horn snails. I like pond snails. I can't think of one that would be a problem with shrimp. Yeah. So take your pick. Maybe avoid assassin snails. Toad Tamer, I have a banded sunfish, and he refused to take pellets, flakes and pellets, until I put some platies in the tank, and then he wanted their pellets too. Oh, that's interesting. Was that was that the little, like, 2-inch banded sunfish? I think that's different than the dwarf pygmies we're talking about. But there are dwarf pygmy sunfish that are banded, so I'm not quite sure which one we're talking about. What was the genus, Toad Tamer, if you don't mind letting me know? Kids Aquatic, oh, Brandon of Maple Street, that's right. Yeah, that was really cool. I thought that was inspiring to see a fish room with, I can't remember if it was all natives, but it might have been all natives. It was cold water stuff. And I miss my natives, so. Plus, it's easier to do, right? I can actually, it's easier for me to, like, visit the, like, if I went to the Paint Rock River in Alabama, I could probably collect everything I needed there, and I could snorkel in there a bit and actually see the habitat and stuff like that. I'll probably never do it. I'm not a big biotype guy. I have nothing against them. I think it's a fun project, but I've never tried to create a true biotope. But if I did, I'd probably go to, like, the Paint Rock River and snorkel around and collect some stuff and try to make it work. Ryan Hansen, it was late in the day, so holding off till next week, just short, for shipping. So Ryan tried to ship some fish, went to his post office. They said, you can't do that here, you have to go over there. So just a short trip, 60 miles, something to get my feet wet and get that first one out of the way. Thanks for the encouragement. Yeah, that's the right way to do it, right? First time, send it close, send it to a friend, just try it, see what works, get some experience. Good for you. Well, I hope it goes well. Next week. Toad Tamer, yes, different genus. Oh, yeah. So I think the question was about not the banded sunfish, but the little, like, Okefenokee type sunfish and its relatives. Dragon Layer, HC Rockford, my nephew keeps pygmy sunfish and they scarf scuds. Of course, because scuds are awesome. Right, HC Aqua? Okay, with that, let's wrap this up. Let's do the last giveaway. This is for the third and final batch of snails provided by Denis. Thank you so much, Denis, for being here and for providing the giveaway tonight. And the winner of the third and final group of them is Sandy Farrell. Sandy Farrell, congratulations. You've won some ram's horn snails from Denis. If you would chime in the next minute and a half, let us know you're here. Then we'll get this all wrapped up. Bird Garden. Yes, it's a red-headed woodpecker. They raise young around our feeding station each summer. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Growing up in Northern California, we had tons of red-headed woodpeckers around. They're really, really, really pretty fish. All right, so while we're waiting for Sandy Farrell to chime in, I'm going to do the sign-off. But if Sandy doesn't respond, then before I close out, we'll draw the next winner. But while we're waiting for Sandy... Oh, wait, Sandy is here? Sandy Farrell. Hang on. Nope, not yet. While we're waiting for Sandy to chime in, I just want to thank my mods for being here and doing what they do. I appreciate you guys so much. I want to thank everyone that threw money at me. Thanks for the super chats. Always appreciated, never required. But the truth is, we're a startup. We're scrappy. And every little bit does help right now. So ramen wages, super chats, buy ramen, and I appreciate it. Everyone that left a question or comment, thanks for doing that. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being active. All you lurkers, I hail the Lurker Nation. I get you. Everyone watching on a replay, hope someday you can be here. That's the wrap up. And Sandy has not yet responded. It's been 1:30, so I'm going to cancel that and roll the next winner. Christine Kaiser. Christine, if you are here, please let us know so we can get this giveaway wrapped up and wrap up the live stream for the night. Again, also thanks to Denis for providing the giveaway. I appreciate it. It's so cool to me that people jump in and are like, hey, I want to do a giveaway. It's just so cool to me. Priscilla did it a couple weeks ago, our last live stream. Denis is doing it now. Bob's done several. I should stop mentioning them because there's been so many. But thanks for doing that, guys. I think that's awesome. Sean, a.k.a. Ali Fish Guy. I will take some MTS. This is Malaysian Trumpet Snails, not multi-tank syndrome. If someone wants to give me some, I need some so badly and my LFS doesn't sell one here. Oh, well, there's a lot of people that are overrun by them, so I bet you'll get some shortly. All right, are people signing off in droves? Because we're just waiting for Christine here. Yeah, let me check. It's here. 148 of us still here. Come on in, Christine. No, Christine? All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and draw the next one. I'm just going to call it. We're at the end. So, Sean, a.k.a. Ollie Fish Guy. Now, I know you're here because I just talked to you. So, Sean, hopefully you're still here. Please be here. Let us know so we can wrap this up. I'm so confident that Sean's here that I'm going to write it down that he won. Hopefully he didn't just sign off. That's the trouble. I waited too long. When I wait till the very, very end, people are like signing off, right? And so yeah. Okay. Good. Sean is here. Excellent. Ollie Fish Guy, send me an email, dan@dansfish.com. Oh, right on time, my voice is about to give out. And I will get you connected with Denis so you guys can arrange the shipping. Thanks for being here, everybody. Punchy Paint is going in about half an hour. If you want more fish live stream and some cool art talk. Till next Wednesday, I hope you have a good one. See you then. Bye-bye.